President Joe Biden fulfilled a long-standing campaign promise today to the more progressive side of the Democratic Party when he announced he would be providing student debt relief that experts say could benefit as many as 40 million people.
Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced to $20,000.
Now, this gives President Biden and Democrats an item to check as they campaign in the coming midterm elections. But the debt forbearance was immediately criticized by conservatives as an irresponsible federal government giveaway, and by progressives as not going far enough. But lost in the conversation of debt forgiveness is a much larger issue: the outrageous increase in the cost of college tuition over the past 30 years, which has a lot of people asking a much tougher question. Is a college degree even really worth it anymore? Take, for example, this recent headline from CNBC that notes, quote, college costs have increased by 169% since 1980, but pay for young workers is up by just 19%. According to a report from Georgetown University. More and more people are asking the very same question asked by the New York Times columnist and a column that was published this week that simply asked, quote, some colleges don't produce big earners. Are they worth it? The column relies heavily on a report from the center-left think tank Third Way, which looked at all available data for higher education institutions, and it found that more than half of college enrollees were not earning more than a high school graduate 6 years after they began their studies. 10 years later, the figure was just 29%. The Times column quotes an enrollment director at the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston who says he and his colleagues spend a lot of time with admitted students and their families talking about money and debt. Sometimes it is clear that it's a bad idea financially for a student to matriculate. So professional musicians rarely make enough money to pay for their tuition. But what about those who study liberal arts and humanities? The world might be a better place with philosophy majors in it, but should massive student loans be taken out for that very benefit? President Biden's loan forgiveness seems like a decent idea on the face of it, especially for those obviously who owe on student loans. But it seems more like we are addressing a symptom instead of trying to solve the actual underlying problem, which is skyrocketing college tuitions. Joining me now is the author of the study we were talking about and senior fellow of higher education at Third Way, Michael Itzkowitz. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Michael. You know, I'm thinking about this today. Everybody, Americans, we get so mad about high gas prices. We get so mad when food prices go up. But for some reason, it seems like these colleges have just been able to slip by. The prices go up every year, and no one seems to freak out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think gas and food, and whether you go to a fast food place, you kind of know the quality of the product that you're going to get, but you're going there multiple times. So you understand what that quality is going to be year after year. College is really a decision that you make one time, but it does happen to be one of the largest financial decisions that families will ever make behind buying a house. So we do know that the number one reason why students attend college year after year is for greater employability and to have a financially secure future. So we're starting to see more and more people ask, you know, what is the actual return that I'm getting for these tens of thousands of dollars that I'm paying for a college credential?
Do we know, Michael, why the cost keeps going up? I mean, is there a valid reason, or is it like, I mean, I've heard of some schools, you know, the president flies around on a private jet, there's a million administrators. I mean, do they have valid reasons, or you know, is this just so people can make more money at the top?
One of the biggest reasons is state disinvestment, specifically for public institutions. So as state invests less, ultimately we do see tuition and net costs that students are paying go up. We've also seen the proliferation of for-profit colleges, and some of them offer good returns, but they do disproportionately offer poor returns. So it's really important that students look at the net costs, or the costs that they're going to be paying out of pocket, relative to the earnings that they can actually obtain. And this data has become readily available through the Department of Education, and that's what we looked at in the Times article, whether it was by institution, but we can also actually look at it even with programs within an institution. If you're interested in studying engineering at the University of Georgia, or sociology, or you want to become an engineer, you can kind of see what you're going to pay and the outcomes that you may receive.
It seems like a scam sometimes, Michael, because I'm thinking about like when I was going into college, you know, you're really young, you're just excited to go. You don't even really know what you're signing on the loan. And, you know, maybe you're going to major in philosophy. And you're probably not going to make that much money off the bat. Like, shouldn't the counselors be warning the students, like, hey, you know, you may want to do a community college for a couple of years, or you may want to rethink this?
I think that we're just in the process of getting this information to counselors and students. And basically, we're asking the question of how much are you paying and what's the kind of return that you're going to get? Oftentimes, people do look within their geographic region, but even within 50 miles of a lot of households, you just have multiple options. So we hope that folks will continue to look at this. And one of the key steps that the Biden administration did take today, besides looking backwards and forgiving some student loan debt, is they committed to publishing a list of institutions that may not have a good return or may leave students with unmanageable debt. So it's unclear right now in terms of the implementation of getting this into the hands of parents and students, but it is one positive step to sort of say, hey, you may want to think twice before enrolling here.
Yeah, and you know, again, I get if you have student loans, this is a day to celebrate. Obviously, if you paid off your loans last week, you're not really happy about this. But it does seem like this bigger question is being ignored, like how they get away with this rising every year.
And we've had limited accountability through the federal government and through the Department of Education. It was a lot of these rules that were in place were rolled back to the last administration. So the one piece of accountability that we have right now was created in 1990. It's called the cohort default rate, and only 10 institutions out of nearly 6,000 fail this metric. So it's really up to Congress and up to the Department of Education to put stronger rules in place to ensure that students are at least earning enough to be able to reasonably pay down their debt, or else we're likely to see these figures that continue to spiral.
Yeah, at least give them a warning. Your study's fascinating, Michael. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, before we go, Ashley Banfield joins us now with a look at what's coming up on her show. Ashley, you know, I know you've got kids in high school. I mean, it's crazy what you have to plan for to pay for college.
I get violent thoughts when it comes to the idea of having to deal with college, and I'm not kidding. I think it is absolutely ridiculous. A, that colleges are making as much money as they are. B, it's on the backs of kids. And C, it's now on the backs of us to bail out the kids who've been spending the money at the colleges. So goodbye to a piece of your paycheck to these colleges. I think that they should be taxed a special tax to raise the money for those 10,000 checks and 20,000 checks that are about to go up. But that's just me. I'm just pissed off because I have to send my kids to college and I got to pay for it.
Yeah, I want to see you when you go on that college tour. I could just see you storming into those admissions offices, just upset about everything. Anyway, I'll be watching the show.
I'm going to have a microphone, and you know it. I'm going to say, tell me exactly what your fees are and what you make.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, and then you can do a story on it. All right, Banfield starts right now.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.